PrymalChaos. Hey guys, PrymalChaos here. Welcome to the channel. Today is PJ Harvey Day. Anyone who's been on my Discord knows that this has been going back and forth for some time. A friend of mine came in and asked me, you know, if I'd heard any PJ Harvey and stuff, and told me some stuff about her career that sort of was really interesting to me. And so I went on my Discord and I said, hey, does anyone know anything about PJ Harvey? Like, where would be a good place to start? And, you know, there was a few comments, particularly from a gentleman named Radicatcher, who sort of said that the problem with it is there's a lot of places to start, essentially. And so I just went on YouTube. I picked Down by the Water because it looked like it was a fairly popular video. And it's sort of starting way back. It looks like it's probably, at a guess, it's probably maybe early 90s or something like that. So it's cool because it gives me a point in time when because I remember PJ Harvey's name from way back then. I worked in music stores and stuff from about 1996. You know, so around that time, a lot of artists and indie artists that I never really got into, but I was aware of on the scene, right? What's really interesting is I know that, you know, she had somewhat of a connection to Nick Cave. And, you know, I'm a fan of like a fair bit of his work, actually. I'm a big fan of Murder Ballads. I love the song Tupelo as well. I should actually do a deep dive into that one day as well. But you know, so I'm aware of Nick Cave and I love his energy. He's one of the true originals as well. And so, you know, hopefully PJ sort of falls down that same sort of like avenue of being someone who's creative and different and unusual and just has like her own flavor and aesthetic. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for on this one. I'm going to jump right in. But before I do, I just want to say this video today is brought to you by Enchroma. Enchroma make glasses for colorblind people like myself. So if you or anyone you know has any kind of deficiency, you can jump on the website just by clicking the link in my description. It'll take you there and you can do a free eye test where you can find out, you know, what sort of color vision you have. And while you're there, you might be able to pick up a pair of glasses that'll help you see the world a little bit more like everyone else. All right, so let's just move on. PJ Harvey, Down by the Water. Again, I've got no perspective on this one. Let's hope it's good. Here we go.
I lost my heart under the
Oh, wow.
to that little girl, so much to me.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. The first thing I noticed, now I understand why Radicatcher likes it, because it's bass guitar. It's beautiful, actually. It's got like this really harsh kind of distortion on it. That's a really unusual aesthetic, but boy, does it bite, and it feels kind of original, especially with her voice. First impressions on her voice, as much as I've only let her sing a couple of lines, she has a similar timbre to, and I hope this isn't insulting to any of her fans or anything like that, kind of reminds me a little bit like a Sheryl Crow or a Courtney Love, where there's kind of like a lazy aesthetic to it. Like it's not lazy so much as relaxed, right? Where she kind of sings up to the note, you know. Maybe that'll change, who knows? But boy, that sort of sticks out and it's really cool.
I lost my heart under the bridge.
It's like something from a Tarantino movie.
To that little girl, so much to me, and now I'm home, and now I holler, she'll never know just what I found, that blue-eyed girl, she said no more, and that blue-eyed girl became blue-eyed whore, down by the water, I took her hand, just like my daughter, I'll see her again.
Oh, wow. Strings, right? Like cello or something? The audacity to put a dance break in this is just palpable.
Oh, help me, Jesus.
Oh, okay. So hang on, before we go further on into this, wow, this is really exciting. In a weird esoteric way. Like it's kind of, it's another one of these examples of less is more, right? So you've got this cool sort of like almost like a jazz drum kit style thing with like just a rhythm that sort of pushes. It always feels like it's pushing you forward, you know. But just having like the main instrument just being a really dirty, ugly sounding bass. And then you've got this kind of sleazy, kind of slinky vocal over the top. I mean, aesthetically, it's kind of got that sort of Hollywood glamour thing, but tinged with just an indie kind of alternative kind of flavor as well. But then I'm wondering, did Nick Cave have anything to do with the production of this one? Because there's some similarities there that it's not anything that's tangible, but there's when those string parts come in or whatever it is, that sort of thing, how they're kind of atonal. They're kind of like, it's just more of a textural thing. And it just sounds unhinged because it doesn't really play with the key so much as it just exists. It sounds like bees buzzing or something like that. And then you got this cool little, I don't know what that cabasa or something like percussion, like sort of things as well. You can hear it there, right? And shakers and just all of this kind of cool, like just percussion things. It sounds like a project, like a high school music project, but in a really cool way. I love it. I did not expect to get this much out of this, especially when the song started. I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. I get what's happening. But again, it's got that sort of beautiful classic originality to it. That's what I said earlier. It sounds like something from a Tarantino film because it's cool and it's edgy and it's original and it sounds like something you've never heard before, but you've heard a million times somehow, you know? It's exciting. Let's see where it goes. Just cool intervals as well. It feels dark and unhinged. But what I was saying with the Nick Cave thing is like those sort of sounds. I mean, it's in key, but it just, something about it just sounds kind of like edgy somehow. You know, it's like it's been placed there to give you a sense of like, again, just chaos, and it just kind of sets your teeth on edge, like kind of like, not like nails down a blackboard, but like that, right? There's something there that just, it feels, there's tension, it builds tension, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And just the fact that it just sits on a note for this whole dance break. There's no melody. Oh, and this, what's that squeakiness?
Oh, help me, Jesus.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, pizzicato.
I had to lose her to do her harm. I heard her holler. I heard her moan. My lovely daughter. I took her home. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish, swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish.
Right. That was cool. So through that last verse sort of section there was some connections that were being made and some synapses back here somewhere where I felt like there was some inspiration from like, you know, traditional like juke joint sort of soul singers, and it's kind of emulated here on the stage with the performance and the dress and the big sort of 40 style hair. There's just something about it that just seems like not gospel, but kind of like that soul rhythm and blues kind of like club music. And you know, it's sort of accented more in the call and response parts through, I guess, like around here somewhere.
Jesus, come through the storm. I had to lose her.
I've lost it. Here.
I heard her moan, my lovely daughter. I took her.
There's just something Americana about that somehow, like, you know, rural Americana club sort of thing going on. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you kind of sense what I'm talking about. The other thing is too, it's such an amalgamation of styles too, because like I said, it's got kind of that unhinged kind of Nick Cave adding textural elements for tension and things like that he does so beautifully well, or at least him and his band do. But then towards the end, this part with all this through here, and I guess this could be, maybe I'm conflating things because I know roughly the time that this came out. I do see elements of Tori Amos and again, her kookiness, a bit of interplay there as well. And that kind of puts something in my mind, which is I know that Tori worked with Trent Reznor, right? And I feel like with just a really saturated digital overdriven breakbeat under this could almost feel like a Nine Inch Nails song as well. Like there's just so much diversity in this. Like just through this end bit here, you know, if this had like a trash can sort of drum beat that was too loud over it or under it, it would just feel, you know, it would feel just a little bit like Nine Inch Nailsy. And so when you take that back to the start, you've got like, you know, you've got your sort of your Tori Amos kind of, you know, ingenue kind of in your face attitude of kookiness. And then you've got like the Nick Cave kind of darkness that sort of, again, and you know, he has a lot of roots in some of his stuff in Americana, kind of the darkness of the Dust Bowl kind of thing. Right. And, you know, rural kind of themes of just like, you know, desolation and blackened souls and things like that, you know, that can only come from a heart of darkness kind of a thing, right? And then you've got like the you know, your Sheryl Crow kind of storyteller voice, or you know, like even edgy alternative sort of thing, like someone like Courtney Love. All of this mixed up with something that could easily be translated into like some sort of a, you know, like a neo kind of, I mean, how would you even describe Nine Inch Nails? I didn't even know what you'd use to describe it, but it's just like trashy acid, alternative metal, like scatterbrain. I don't even know, like Downward Spiral era Nine Inch Nails is what I'm talking about. Or like, what's the other one? White Noise or something? I can't remember the name of the album, but man, this took me on a journey I did not expect to take today. And again, maybe you don't see any of this stuff in there. I certainly do. And the song's just a vibe, right? It just sort of has like, it's sexy and sleazy and slinky and esoteric and disjointed but still colorful and vivid. But again, it's kind of got a less is more thing going on as well. It's not trying to cater to a particular pop construction of like composition or anything like that. It's sort of, you know, it doesn't really follow any particular like strategy as far as, you know, being intro, verse, chorus, verses. You know, it's got this big outro at the end and everything like that. It's really creative and it really sets a tone, and it feels like, having lived through this era, it definitely fills the void of that vibe of a little bit of nostalgia as well. Yeah. What's something that PJ Harvey's done that's like the polar opposite of this? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see a different side of her as well. Like I know, you know, I mean, if you listen to Tori Amos around this era and then you listen to something that she's done more recently, it's very different. It's still her, obviously, but it's different. I'd love to sort of see how PJ Harvey, and I know she's still currently doing things, how she's evolved. What are some landmark songs that kind of flip the coin a little bit and show you a bit more of what's going on? What else do I want to talk about? Oh, the lyrics. Yeah, the lyrics were kind of interesting and disjointed in a way as well. I couldn't quite get a feel for what the vibe was. I don't know that it's very specific as far as a narrative or anything like that. I think it's just stream of consciousness kind of expressionism, where you throw statements into the mix and you get a vibe. Like, I couldn't quite tell whether or not, and this is without reading the lyrics or anything like that. You know, she's like, I fell in love with the girl under the bridge, down by the water and stuff. It all paints a picture, right? But at the same time, I kind of got a feeling like she was talking about herself, like she was having this connection with a part of herself. I'm not sure what really made me feel like that, but there was definitely some things that sort of struck a chord with it from being introspective instead of just telling a narrative about some girl, right? It's like, maybe it was like, you know, the loss of her own personal innocence and things like that. Or maybe there was a point that she's kind of abstractly referring to where she diverged into two different people. There's the person she's always been, but then maybe it's skewed at some point to be a different person because of an event that happened or something like that, you know? And so she's watching her other self. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm just talking out of my butt. But yeah, that was a really cool roller coaster ride. I'm excited about this song. I need to check out more PJ Harvey. Thank you so much for the recommendations and stuff. I know that I didn't specifically choose a song that was on the Discord pointed out. This just seemed like something that I'd probably be easy for me to connect with to start with, you know. Thanks again, guys. If you feel like I brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel. Just buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Or also like, share, follow, subscribe. I'd love to hear from you guys, particularly you who are watching this, who are probably like a dyed-in-the-wool PJ Harvey fan. Don't be shy. Hit me up in the comments. Tell me where I need to go. I'm here to learn from you guys, okay? And also, you know, yeah, just check out my Discord. This is where all this came from in the first place. Again, link in the description. But that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. This was a fun ride. Stay primal, and I'll catch you on the next one.